My name is Jillian Perrick, and I'm a lover of all things orange chocolate. Think One Tree Hill is way better than the OC. And as a person who stutters, I hope to one day inspire women with invisible disabilities to overcome their limiting beliefs and start the business of their dreams, just like I did. I'm a mindset coach specializing in imposter syndrome, helping women beat their inner imposter using neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, and time techniques. And this is the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. This podcast is for you if you're an entrepreneurial woman trying to navigate the online space with a lot of passion and a lot of uncertainty. If you feel like your ideas are unoriginal, that your message isn't necessary or important, or like you're a complete and total fraud, then you've come to the right place. This podcast will take you from imposter to empowered with ninja-like brain hacks, easy to implement strategies, and uplifting real talk to make you feel like everything you want is in reach. Let's get started, girlfriend. Hey, this podcast is sponsored by the From Imposter to Empowered course. This is my 10-step signature methodology, Find and Defeat, to help you overcome your limiting beliefs, overcome your imposter syndrome, to help you become the most successful version of yourself and drop the shit that has been holding you back. This signature methodology is something that I use with my clients, and they have had amazing breakthroughs because of it. They've signed clients directly after our calls. They have gone on to break through income barriers. I've worked with 5-figure and 6-figure entrepreneurs, and honestly, I gotta tell you guys, we all have the same fears, we all have the same things that hold us back, but it just takes a little bit of the unclogging of your drain, as I like to say, that unclogging of all the shit that is just clogging the way in which abundance and success and money can flow through, and that course helps you do that. So you can go to the link in my show notes and you can use FITE podcast for 15% off the course. So everybody talks of a fear of rejection or a fear of failure, but very rarely do we talk about the fear of success. So if you've heard me talk about the other shoe effect on my Instagram, I talk about how the other shoe effect is you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's that nagging feeling that things can't be this good, that you need to stay vigilant because if you let up on the gas, something bad is going to happen. That if you keep your head down, you won't attract any attention because with positive attention becomes bad attention. And fear of success can look like a number of different ways. It can look like a fear of having to maintain it. So let's say you get all these clients and things are going really good and you start being like, oh my God, so I have to now continue to coach these people and now I have to continue putting myself out there, and it's that type of fear. Maybe you fear that you're going to become unrelatable to the people in your life because you're not going to be doing the same things as them. You're going to be kind of surpassing them in terms of whatever you're accomplishing. And you also could have the fear of, if you're highly empathetic, you may recognize that not everybody is super jazzed about somebody else's success, and that's because of what's going on in their own lives. And sometimes they even project onto you in terms of what they think you should be doing or how they think you should be. And again, this fear of success. So think of your brain like an outdated HP laptop, which I am currently recording on because fucking Audacity doesn't work on Cortana, which is the new Mac operating system. Anyways, just my life. But so think of your brain like an outdated HP laptop that receives regular updates, but the hardware stays the same even through all of the new technology that's come about. The part of your brain that estimates that risk and is responsible for keeping you alive is still there, but because it's so outdated, it can actually overreact when you're not actually in danger. So again, remember how we talked about that your brain interprets physical danger just as much as it interprets emotional danger. So even if you're not actually at risk for dying, sometimes your brain takes a situation and thinks that you are. And that's why sometimes we're so afraid of risk and afraid of taking risks, because our bodies and our brains convince us that we are at risk. So this means that your brain is constantly scanning your environment for danger. And when things are going really well, your brain is like, well, we have to find something to worry about. So I want you to see this as just the way that your brain functions and that there's not actually anything wrong with you, because I think what happens is because people, especially healers and coaches and stuff like that, we're really attuned with how people are. We're really attuned with the universe. We're really attuned to what's going on around us. And we can confuse anxiety and fear with intuition. And that intuitive feeling in your gut is going to be very different than this fear that you are creating in your head. And actually, if you are really into the law of attraction and all that stuff, you could also be manifesting an experience in which you don't want to happen simply because you can't stop thinking about it. So this is an example, not that I manifested this, but I was in the bath and I was thinking about like, oh my God, like so many amazing things are coming up, and I was getting so excited and thinking about how the rest of the year is just going to be amazing and there's going to be so many things. And my brain instantly was like, okay, she's feeling too good right now. Let's make her think that something terrible is going to happen in the next couple months. And of course, anxiety thrives on vagueness, so I didn't really know what was wrong. I just started to feel anxious, and this is just an example of your brain again is constantly scanning your environment, because if you're feeling too good and too unaware as your brain thinks, again, it thinks you're going to be in danger if you're not hyper aware of everything that is going on in your environment. And again, I look at it as always just a function in my brain, and coming back down to reality and realizing that I am okay, I am safe, and what I focus on expands. If I'm going to focus on my success and my abundance and all the amazing things that are going to happen, I am attracting that more into my life. Doesn't mean that there aren't going to be things that come up that aren't great or going to be inconvenient, but how does it help you to thrive on the possibility of something bad happening? I knew somebody when I was in university, and she would always fear the worst. She was always afraid of everything happening. And again, the problem is not the emotion. The problem is how you're responding to it. So she would be crazy and like messaging people all day long, and she would be so nervous, and she would hardly eat some days, and she had a lot of really bad anxiety about stuff that was never going to come true and still hasn't come true to this day, but she let the behavior go down the path of self-sabotage. So I want you to realize that when you are experiencing the other shoe effect, I want you to come back down into your body and realize like, I am safe right now in this moment. And if you need to do some EFT tapping, you can totally do that. But bring yourself back down to the ground, really ground yourself and realize that you are safe as of this moment. And it is safe to dream. It is safe to find joy. It is safe to feel abundant. It is safe to be happy. And this doesn't mean, if you want to acknowledge to like the universe, like this doesn't mean I'm not paying attention and not taking care of myself. This just means that I am allowing myself to be joyful and happy and think about the amazing possibilities that are out there for me. And the same goes for when you're experiencing a lot of success, which it's going to happen, especially if you're listening to this podcast. I hope that you listen to this often so you can get over that inner imposter that's trying to hold you back. But when you experience that success and you start to feel nervous again and be like, this is too good to be true, remind yourself that you are safe in your body, that you are safe right now, and that it is safe to feel joy. It is safe to have fun and be abundant, because that is what is going to attract more into your life. And you don't want to be manifesting the wrong shit. You don't want to be manifesting these bad things happening to you. You want to manifest more joy and more play and more abundance. And you can't do that if you're constantly thinking that there is another shoe that is going to drop. And I also want you to remember that if you had a very tumultuous childhood, if you had an experience as a young adult or a child or what have you, that didn't make you feel safe, or for example, I had a client who had something where something really abrupt and traumatic happened to her and she didn't see it coming. So she has always been anxious and hyper vigilant moving forward because she was so shell-shocked and traumatized from that experience that she never wanted to feel that way again. So she was really blindsided by what happened, and she never wanted to feel that way again. So she was always anxious, always nervous, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So if that's happening for you as well, I really suggest you do some work, some trauma work, or even just do some journaling. Maybe grab the From Imposter to Empowered course at the link in my bio, or at the link in my show notes, just saying. And help yourself go back to those roots of where that may be coming from, because if you are constantly paralyzed by not only the fear of rejection or judgment or failure, but now you're also fearful of success as well, especially as it starts to creep up on you, it would probably be really conducive to you to understand where those fears are coming from. And the only way that you are going to get over that is to get through it, is to look at the evidence and look at what you have to work with and help yourself release and forgive. Just like the From Imposter to Empowered course. Crazy. You should just grab that right now. Again, I think we have to remember that our brain is still very primal. It is still in its very instinctual manners in terms of a lot of things. And that's why a lot of us start off with negative thoughts about ourselves. That's why a lot of us are always going towards what's going to happen that's bad instead of what's going to happen that's good. An exercise that I do often with my clients is I want them to write down 50 things or 30 things, whatever, that are good, that are going to happen, that are good or great or amazing, and to write all those down, because usually we're so focused on what could go wrong that we're not even thinking about what could go right. And again, what you focus on expands. So your focus on your anxiety, your focus on the things that are going wrong in your business, your focus on why you don't feel good. Those are all expanding those things. And I'm not saying that we have to be oblivious to the things that are hard in our lives, but if you focus on giving yourself more compassion, if you focus on forgiveness and love and maintaining that feeling good and safe in your body, then you will create more of that. So I hope you guys loved this little mini episode about fear of success. If you have comments or questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at YourCoachJill, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast with me, Jillian Perrick. If you loved this episode, take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram story. And don't forget to tag me at YourCoachJill. Of course, I'd love for you to rate the podcast 5 stars and leave a review. And if you screenshot your review and send it to me at YourCoachJill on Instagram, I'll send you a free gift. At the very least, make sure you follow me on Instagram, again at YourCoachJill, for tons of free content, strategies, and inspo. See you next time.